everyone, this is Annette with ASCardDesign. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be using some supplies from a card kit that I purchased recently from simonsaysstamp, and it is their limited edition card kit called Wrapped in His Love. And it is a religious card kit, but it is beautiful. It has beautiful supplies. It's a great value. So head on over to their website to check that out. But I want to show you some of the products that I'm going to be using today. Now, I wanted to show you all the papers, all these pattern papers that you're going to get. Now, the box is full of other supplies, but I just wanted to show you because these papers really grabbed my attention. So they are all double-sided, and they're absolutely stunning. So you can make so many projects. You can make cards, gift tags. You can chop these up in many ways. You can add paste to them for some dimension. So I just wanted to show you these. They're just absolutely gorgeous. And I've already gone through these and selected a pattern I'm going to use. I'm going to use this one today, and it's just a foresty tree scene with some elements of ink splatter on it, and this is the other side. So it's really hard to decide which one you're going to use because they're both so pretty, but we are going to go with this one. So let me put all these off to the side, and I'm going to make an eclipse card today, and I'm going to be bringing in this die set, and it's from Pink and Maine, and it's called the Notched Corners die. And I'm going to show you how to create an eclipse card, and we're going to select two sizes that are just a step down from each other. Okay, and then we're going to set this to the side, and then what is important to do is you want to decide, you want to frame it out, right? You want to frame out where you want your dies, and then you're going to tape them. And what I'm doing here is just trying to figure that out. So let's just bring this cardstock back in, and let's just say we're going to crop that section, and then we'll want to place that like that maybe. Okay, so we just want to center these two basically and then tape them together. And hang on a second. I'm bringing in a piece of cardstock just to make this easier. And then you'll want to take some low tack tape, and I'm going to use some mint tape here, and I'm going to just get it a little less sticky, and I'm just lining up this die set, kind of getting even margins all the way around, and then you're going to want to tape it. Okay, so I'm just going to go around all four sides, and I'm going to tape it down. Okay. And just make sure everything is nice and straight. And then, okay. All right, so when you're done, you have this finished piece. Both dies are adhered together, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring in our big shot, and we're going to die cut this. And I'm just using the sandwich that comes with my Sizzix Big Shot machine. And then I want to position this where I want it to be cropped. So, you can put it anywhere you'd like. That would look nice. That has a little bit more gold. Let's just go right here. And then you just want to make sure that that's on straight. And we could tape that down as well. And I think I'm going to do it because I don't want it to move. So let's just give that a little bit of tackiness, or tape that down so it doesn't move. And then we're going to run it through our die cutting machine. And then you're left with this. Now you want to lift this off carefully. It's very important you want to keep this together. So we're just going to take this piece off that we were just holding down the die, and then we're just going to push the pieces out. And the reason why it's important to keep your die together is if you want to cut additional layers to add dimension, you're going to need to have this exactly the same distance apart so your layers can match. And we're going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to bring in a color that's very similar to this, okay, just that I had in my cardstock, and we're going to bring back the Big Shot, and we're going to cut out some extra layers. Now I don't need to tape this down because we're not lining up a pattern, so we'll just get that in there. And maybe we'll go this way. I wonder if I can go this way. I'm just seeing here if I can do it. Yep, I can go this way and then maybe do it twice. So let's go ahead and run that through. And we'll go ahead and I'm just going to do this off screen. I'm going to do it one more time. And now here's all my pieces, and I'm going to keep this die taped together, and I will store it with my die set, and I'll just put that away. And then I also want to die cut, we'll set this aside, and I want to die cut the greeting that I'm going to use. So in the kit, there was also this die set called Let Us Adore Him. And what this is, it's 2 dies. You get a shadow layer and then the greeting, and it's very, very delicate. So I am going to show you how to put that together. Okay, so we're going to lay these aside for now. We're going to work on the greeting, and for that I'm just using scrap. I'm using a gold metallic cardstock piece of scrap and a white piece of scrap for the shadow layer. So let's do the shadow layer first because that's going to be the easiest. We'll bring the Big Shot back in. And we're going to die cut this out twice. So I'm just going to run that through once, and then I'll run it through again. Okay, so we have a shadow layer. So we'll just run this through one more time. And then I'm just going to take a scrap piece of gold cardstock and we'll run that through just about like that. And then I want to carefully remove the die because the I for the word him, I want to make sure I save that little tiny dot. I'm just going to pound that out to get the L out of there. And you can see how delicate and intricate that is. Okay, so we're just going to make sure we put it in the dish here. And let's see, this goes in there. And then we definitely want to make sure, you can see how tiny that I is. We want to make sure we get that. We do not want to lose it. So I'm just going to focus on where that is, which is right here. And it's on the, right now it's on the tip of my pick tool. It's so tiny you can barely see it, but I'm going to put it in my tray so I don't lose it. It's in there. And then I'm just going to take all these little pieces and get them out. Okay, so we have the H and the word adore. Get that out. And I find it's just very easy to put them in a little tray so everything's all together. And I'll clean that up later. And now I just want to show you how easy this is to put together, okay? And it does help if you get a piece of cardstock so you can see the pieces. And then what I do is I use the packaging as my guide, okay? And the first thing I want to do is, let's see, that's the way it's going to go. So I want to glue these two pieces together first. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Just glue those down and then line them up. Here I'm just going all the way around. Okay, and then you have your double layered shadow layer. Okay, so let's go ahead and dump our pieces, and right there is our little eye. It's very hard to see, but it's there. And then I'm going to use my reverse tweezers, and I just want to put all these pieces out in order, just kind of lining them up. This is him, let us. Okay. And then just one by one, I'm going to pick these up, just grab them. They're so tiny I can't even see because I don't want to get my head in the, there we go. And then I'm just going to use a little bit of glue. Just go all the way around and just take your time. Okay. And then I'm just looking at the guide and seeing, okay, this goes right about like that. And then I'll just release it, press it down. And then I'll do the ET. Okay. And then again, I'm looking kind of at this section here and lining that up. And then we'll do us. Super easy. It looks difficult. Just put a little bit of glue down. And then I'm kind of just looking at that right there. And then I'm going to bump down to the word him because I just feel like it's going to be easier to do this, and I really want to get that eye, that dotted eye on, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. And this is super easy. I'm just going down here and lining it up right here. Okay. And then we'll put the IM. And again, using that as my guide. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to put that down just a little further. And then, since this is so tiny, this little eye, I'm just going to put a tiny dot of glue right here where it will go, and that's probably a little bit too much. And then I'm just going to take my pick tool and pick up and drop it right onto the glue. And it's that easy. I'm just going to show you where we are. And then you have that. And then we'll just finish off with the adore. And that's way too much glue. Just spread it if you get too much on there. Okay. And then this goes right just about like that. Okay. And that's how you put together that beautiful die set. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this away, and then we'll put our card together. So let's bring those back in. Now, I am going to just go ahead and glue, I want to add some dimension to these pieces, so I'm going to go ahead and glue these together. Now it's just a matter of putting it all together. Okay, so we're going to make sure these are facing the same way, and we're just going to go all the way around, work them together, and glue them down. And then we can glue the top piece on there, okay? And remember, it was cut out like that. So we will glue that down. And the same thing, just walk it all the way around. Okay. Now you want to decide. So this is built up. We could leave this a single layer and it will be a little sunken in, or we can build it up. If we build it up with the same amount of layers, it's going to be even. So I think I'm just going to leave it plain and sink it down. Okay, so we'll just save these for another project. Okay. So we're going to bring in our panel layer, and this is just a piece of gold, the same gold cardstock as the greeting, and it's just measurement is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and we're going to just center that on there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Center that. Just like that. Just make sure it's even margins all the way around and kind of straight top to bottom. Just give that a minute to adhere. And then this is our US A2 card panel, or card base, and we'll go ahead and glue that. We'll just go ahead and glue that down now. And then we will finish this card up pretty swiftly. It's not a hard card to make. It looks difficult. Looks like there's a lot of steps, but the steps are easy. They're very easy. Okay, so that's what we have so far. And then this is going to sink down in. All right, so we'll go ahead and put that down. And we will get that in there. And we're going to go all the way around. And we can take our pick tool and just make sure it's sunken in. Okay, just go all the way around. And you can see how it gives a very nice kind of a little bit of a ridge all the way around. Okay, all right, so we could just put our greeting on, and inside the kit are also these fun metallic stars, so I thought it'd be fun to put those down as well. So let's go ahead and just put some in the dish, and we'll get our greeting down first. We'll see where we want to put that. Might put it, I'm just going to put it right in the middle. And then we'll put our stars on, and this card will be done. Very easy. Very easy card. Okay. A lot of shine, a lot of shimmer, very, very pretty. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to put some dots around here. It's going to be really hard to see where I put those. And then we're just going to pick up our stars, put them down. Got one there. A little bit of a challenge to see where I put the glue. I got one right here. And where else did I put glue? I know I put glue somewhere else. Oh, we got one right up here. Is that all of them? Oh, nope, there's two more. A little bit of a struggle butt here. Maybe I have these upside down, I don't know. Okay, and that is the finished card. Isn't that beautiful? So I hope you enjoyed this video. This was a quick technique, eclipse card. You can do this with any cardstock, any pattern paper. You can make a scene and die cut it this way if you have rectangular dies, circle dies, any kind of die. Just do the nesting dies and skip a size and then tape them together, die cut it, and you can replicate this so super easily. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and if you're not a subscriber, I would love for you to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next video. And until then, have a great day, everyone.